Po sa ating lahat. Magandang gabi po. Kumusta po kayo? Ayan, so kung naririnig niyo pa ako, please pa-message na lang po dito sa MS Teams para po malaman ko po if you can hear me and if I am audible and clear. Teachers, welcome po ulit and good evening to each one of us. Kumusta po kayo? I hope na okay lang po kayo sa nagdaang linggo. And I hope na nag-aral po kayo ng mabuti, nagbalik-aral kayo sa mga tinuro natin or namin sa inyo, okay? Kasi ilang araw na lang po ay examination na po ninyo ulit. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for all of you, you know. Kasi siyempre, um, we are really preparing for it. And I hope that all of you who are here in this virtual classroom will pass and top the board examination. I am really rooting to you all guys. Okay? Perfect. Ay, sabi dito, ayos lang daw po, malapit na mapunta sa mental asylum. Wag naman po. Pag pagod, magpahinga po tayo, ha? Ayan. Pa-shoutout po from Camarines Sur. Hello. Hello po diyan. Marahay na banggi sa indong gabos. Ayan. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it, you know. It's been so busy for weeks already because we have a lot of activities at school. But then again, at least I'm able to meet you twice a week. Yes, talaga pong totoong nakakapagod, pero kailangan nating magpatuloy, okay? Kailangan nating mag-go pa din. So, for queries about handout, no worries, it will be posted po. Same with your quiz or the drills. No worries, everything will be posted here. Okay, may ma-delay man kasi syempre may mga pagkakataon po na hindi lang tayo yung napagbibigyan ng panahon ano ho ng IT natin pero ipo-post at ipo-post po nila yan. Kaya ang mahalaga you are with me tonight. You can see my PowerPoint presentation kasi ito naman yung importante. Okay? And also yung drills. Ayan. Kasi discuss ko rin naman po yun bukas ng gabi. Ayan. So, yun. Bago tayo magsimula, mga kapatid, nais ko muna po kayong imbitahan ulit sa isang panalangin. Samahan niyo po ako para tayo ay mayroong kapayapaan sa ating puso't isipan. O, di ba? So, now, let's be one in inviting the Holy Spirit as we do this prayer. Okay, so let's bow down our head and let's feel the presence of the Lord. Father in heaven, together with the Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, we're praising and glorifying you. We exalt your name, O Lord, and we believe in your power. We thank you so much, Lord, again for all the blessings that we have received from you, big or small, but still we're grateful because it gives us life. Those blessings give us opportunity and hope to grow and to do things, of course, Lord, for the glory of your name. Lord, thank you because we come to know you and fear you. And despite our shortcomings, oh Lord, you're able to bless us. It really shows how loving you are, oh God. And with that, Lord, we would like to ask for your forgiveness, tell our shortcomings to you. And this night, Lord, we are gathered here in this virtual classroom to do again learning, to have fun, to review, and may you be the center of this interaction, Lord, so that whatever queries or clarifications they have in minds will be addressed and they will be provided salient points and information to be used this coming March 19, 2023, which is their board examination day. So, Lord, it is beyond our power to control the result, but it's you who knows what will be the future that lies ahead us. And with that, we would like to lift up everything to you. because you know what's best for us. Now, we are rejoicing for this opportunity to learn, and may use all of us to become an instrument to inspire other people. That's also our CBRC family who is there for these beautiful people, and may they become one in their dreams. Thank you so much, Lord, for everything. This is our prayer through the Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, our Lord and our Savior, the way, the life, and the truth. Amen. Ayan, 'di ba? So, God bless us. Okay, may the Lord God bless us always. And sana po, maging okay lang tayo. Alright? Okay. 'Pag may mga katanungan po kayo about sa mga OPMS, kindly contact na lang po siguro yung mga branches ninyo, guys, no? Kasi sa amin, as your lecturer, we are just concerned more on the lectures lang po. Ano ho? Pero no worries, it will be relayed. Okay, para naman po matulungan namin kayo sa pagbanggit ng mga, ah, mga concerns po ninyo. Okay? Just be patient, guys. Okay? Gagawin po natin ang lahat para sa inyo. Ayan. So, there. Now, guys, so far, everything is good. If you can hear me, actually, you confirmed already that you can hear me and you can see the PowerPoint. Now, let's start our discussion. So, time check, it's 7, we started at 7:30, right, kanina. So now, we'll just have 1 hour or beyond 1 hour. And syempre, kailangan kong tapusin yung content na prepare ko po sa inyo. Okay? So there. And with that, let's start our lecture. Okay, so for tonight, guys, our topic is all about general science, particularly biology. So, ayan, ako po si Sir Val de la Trinidad, and siyempre magkakakilala na tayo, so alam niyo na po 'yan. Okay, and you know, ayan nga, ulitin ko lang po ha, there are 5 parts for general science. To it, we have biology, chemistry, physics, earth science, and science instruction. Now we will focus more on biology, particularly microbiology and parasitology. Ayan. So, microbiology and parasitology is one of the subjects that we need to review, that we need to go over the basic concepts and other important concepts in line with the table of specifications provided to us. And we go beyond that para at least ready kayo. Whatever questions will be thrown to you during the board examination, at least may idea kayo or alam nyo ang tamang sagot. Okay? So ngayong gabi, we'll talk about biology and yan nga, microbiology and parasitology. And at the end of the lecture, guys, at least you're able to identify or define what's biology and parasitology. What are the different concepts related to microbiology and parasitology? What are their effects to human beings? What are their impacts and importance into our environment? So yun po yung mga bagay na pag-aaralan natin ngayong gabi. Okay? So once again, our subject matter is about microbiology and parasitology. Okay? So I know it's not new to you to read these words, yung microbiology and parasitology, because it has been used for since when we were in high school and also when we were in college, and now even in review, we keep on reiterating these concepts because they are very important. Okay? So now to start with, let's define microbiology. So from the word micro, teachers, meaning small, biology means, so meaning it is the study of microscopic organisms. Okay, pag sinabing microscopic organisms, these organisms cannot be seen through our naked eye. Instead, we can see them with the aid of some technology. We can use the different kinds of microscopes we have. So meaning we need to use microscope for them or for us to see them. And what are these microscopic organisms that we will discuss tonight? We will talk about bacteria, the viruses, the fungi, and protozoa. So bacteria are located everywhere. They are present everywhere. even in our body, inside or even in external part of our body, okay, even in the soil, even in the plants, even in the houses, in your bedroom, wherever, you can see bacteria. But not through your, or not with your naked eye, but you have to use microscope. And they are microorganisms and they obtain life. That's why they are part of microbiology. Same with viruses, though they do not have life, but they can be living organisms provided with a host. And not only that, viruses have the ability to reproduce, right? And they can cause disease. And also, fungi, actually, in comparison, no, bacteria is quite larger than viruses. So viruses, masyadong maliit ang mga yan. Same with fungi, because in fungi there are unicellular and also multicellular, but still some of them are microorganisms, so they are still covered by this study. And also the protozoa or the protozoans. Pag sinabi natin protozoans, these are the animal-like protists under kingdom Protista. So protozoans are the amoeba, we also have the euglena, the paramecium, okay? We also have the plasmodium, okay? And when we say protozoa, since animal-like protists, they are protists but they have characteristics of animal because they can locomote, yeah? And some of the protozoans I mentioned earlier do have feet used in locomotion. So first is amoeba. So sa amoeba, they have what we call pseudopodia. Tama? Pag sinabi natin pseudopodia, pseudo means false, podia means feet. So they have false feet used in locomotion. What else? For paramecium, we have cilia. And cilia are hair-like structure attached on its surface, and they use it for locomotion. And for euglena, so euglena, they have flagella, and flagella is a whip-like structure. Okay, I will repeat. For bacteria, I mean for protozoan, they have we have amoeba. Amoeba have false feet or pseudopodia. For uh, paramecium, they have cilia, which is a hair-like structure. And for euglena, they have flagella, and that is a whip-like structure. Actually, what's in euglena and to the sperm cells of males are the same. Okay? So, it is for locomotion. Ayan. So, yan po, generally, ang ating pag-aaralan tonight, yung bacteria, viruses, and fungi na yan. Okay, and since microbiology and parasitology ang title, we need also to discuss what parasitology is. So parasitology from the word parasite, so it is the study of parasites. Ayan, so study or it's the science of parasites, their hosts, and the relationship between them. Okay, so we will discuss more about what kind of relationship they have, yung parasite at saka host. Ano ba yung mga host? Okay, human beings ba? Pero madalas human beings. Ayan. Yung iba naman dyan, pwedeng pig, pwedeng cow, depende. Right? Kung anong klaseng parasite yan. Kasi may mga uri din ng parasites na ating i-discuss tonight. Okay? And another term that you need to consider if we talk about microbiology and parasitology is the immunology. Because we know most of the bacteria, but not all, can cause disease. Not only bacteria, even fungi and the protozoans, and also other parasites. So for us, human beings, if we are the host, and if we are infected by them, we experience the different illnesses or diseases. And immunology is actually the study of immune system, how we fight with those pathogens that are present in our bodies. Anyway, what is a pathogen? Pathogen is a substance or something that causes disease. So they are foreign bodies, they are foreign into our body, Okay, and they might be a germ, they might be a microbe, they might be a bacteria, a fungi, a virus, a protozoan, and the like. Okay, so that's why, guys, I want you to learn tonight that we need to take good care of ourselves because we might get disease from the food we eat, from the water we drink, and you need to be conscious with your environment. Sanitation and hygiene must be reinforced in this moment because, you know, we need to strengthen our immune system because our goal in this world is for us to survive and to obtain continuous life. And for us to have life, then we need to be healthy. Okay, so that's immunology, study of immune system, which protects from infection. So sometimes we feel fever or we have fever after being or after having a wound kasi natusok kayo ng pako, tas yung pako na yun ay may rust. So if you feel like you will be having a fever, well, those are just a response or those are just responses of our body to fight against those foreign bodies that are present from the materials used for us to be wounded. Okay? So, pag may lagnat, meaning may infection yan. Maaring may sepsis. Pag sinabi natin sepsis, may infection sa blood. Okay? Or maaring nakikipaglaban na ang mga white blood cells natin sa mga area kung saan may nasugat tayo na may mga bacteria. Kasi syempre, kailangan mapatay yung mga yun. Kasi kung hindi, once that those foreign bodies kill our immune system, or particularly the white blood cell, the lymphocytes, and the T cells and all, then we will die. Okay? So we need to be grateful with our natural immunity, the innate immunity. Tama? That's why, we can surpass those diseases na dapat meron tayo dahil sa mga microorganisms na yan. Okay? So, immunology, immune system, study of immune system. Now, let's talk about let's revisit the history of microbiology and also parasitology so that we can have a glimpse of what happened before. So for history, if you can see my PowerPoint there on your end, please read with me. You open your mouth. So people attributed diseases to witchcraft and the devil. So that's their belief before. They do witchcraft and those are actually actions of devil. Kaya daw may sakit ang mga tao noong unang panahon. Well, ganito yung belief nila. It's because they do not have enough knowledge before. They don't even have, or they didn't have technology to monitor one's case in terms of his or her disease. That's their perception before witchcraft and devil. But later, they believe diseases was caused by miasma. We have actually what we call miasma theory. When we say miasma, they said that our diseases is just an unpleasant smell, and they come up with this theory because when someone got an illness or disease, and when they die, then they will be decomposed. Then not only that, yung mga sugat nila nagkakaroon ng malodor. Okay, so yun, that's why they come up with the theory or with that belief, no, unpleasant smell, miasma yun. Okay. And I have also included some personalities here that we need to know in terms of microbiology. We have here Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So Anton van Leeuwenhoek was the first to demonstrate the presence of microorganisms via microscope. Okay? So before kasi sa Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he used his microscope and then he mounted a certain specimen, and then after looking at the lenses of his microscope, he found out some small animals moving, but actually those are, protozoans, and they were really moving, and he termed that animalcules. When we say animalcules, small animals. Okay, so that's what Anton van Leeuwenhoek did during his time. And he is said to be the father of microbiology. So with him, the science of microbiology started to shine. Okay, and during his time was also the golden age of microbiology. Okay, so that's Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Well, anyway, we have here what we call microscope. So microscope is used to enlarge small or tiny objects or tiny substances. Okay, so microscope is designed to enlarge the sizes, to magnify the sizes of the microorganisms, and I hope you still able to to memorize or remember those parts of the microscope. Dapat alam pa rin niyo yung mga lenses, yung eyepiece, yung draw tube, yung body tube, okay? Yung mga dust shield, yung mga objectives natin. We have the low and high objectives, and also the oil immersion objectives. We also have the plate, the stage, okay, the clip, the mirror, the pillar, the base, the fine course adjustment, okay? Okay, so yung mga yon dapat alam natin. Tsaka yung iba't ibang uri ng mga microscope, we have electron, tra electron microscope, okay, we have the scanning electron microscope, okay, and among others. So dapat alam pa natin yung mga yon. Okay, next is we have here Louis Pasteur. So Louis Pasteur showed that there were germs present in the environment. And he also developed vaccines for Bacillus anthracis. And the disease caused by Bacillus anthracis is what we call anthrax. And with him, he was able to develop vaccines for anthrax disease. Okay? And not only that, when we say Louis Pasteur, nandiyan yung tinatawag nating pasteurization, wherein it is a way of killing microorganisms or microbes. Example, in milk, para ma-prolong yung shelf life nung milk. Okay, so that's Louis Pasteur. Because why do we need to apply heat? For them to die. There are some bacteria or microorganisms that are very sensitive in terms of temperature. There are ideal temperatures for them. Okay, it might be low or high. Okay, and if you can see bacteria that can thrive in a very harsh environment, then we can term them or we call them archaebacteria. Okay, so it's a type of bacteria, the archaebacteria that can thrive in a very harsh environment. Okay, but then again, that's Louis Pasteur and Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, so Anton van Leeuwenhoek, so he was able to first demonstrate the presence of microorganisms, and he called it animalcule. He used his microscope, and he's also the father of microbiology. For Louis Pasteur, he used the pasteurization. He was able to show that there were germs present in the environment and developed vaccines for Bacillus anthracis, which is the anthrax disease, causing anthrax disease. Okay? So, yan po. Next, we have Robert Koch or Koch or Koch. Ewan ko sa inyo. Basta alam ko, dapat alam niyo kung sino siya. Ayan. So what are his contributions in the field of microbiology? So he described methods of preparing cultures. Ayan. So when we say culture in science, well, pagpaparami lang naman po ito. But of course, we need to use different laboratory apparatuses like the agar, the broth. We also have the petri dishes and among others. Next, Robert Koch was the proponent of the germ theory of disease. What is a germ theory of disease? So it's a theory saying that in every disease or almost all of the disease, not always ha, almost all, halos lahat, okay, na mga disease daw ay caused by germs. Okay? So sa bawat sakit, may germ na sanhi kung bakit may disease na yon. Okay? So that's according to germ theory of disease. And also, he discovered causative agents of blank. Ano yon? Tuberculosis. So tuberculosis is the disease and the bacteria causing that disease is the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. We also have cholera. So he was able to found that out before discover, and that is caused by Vibrio cholerae, wherein this kind of bacterium has a comma-shaped morphology. Okay, so comma-shaped siya. Ano nga ulit yan? Vibrio cholerae. So ano ang target nito? Siyempre, nakukuha ito sa mga tubig, okay, sa mga contaminated water, itong Vibrio cholerae, that once we drink them at na-expose yung Vibrio cholerae niya sa stomach natin, then it will cause now cholera. And cholera had been one of the dangerous diseases we had in history because it killed a lot of people before, especially during the time that we lack knowledge about sanitation, pasteurization and all, okay, or even boiling, okay, so medyo very poor pa ang ating knowledge about sanitation and health sciences, okay? And for tuberculosis naman, syempre pag-uubo yan. Okay, airborne. Okay, so syempre tuberculosis affects our respiratory system. Okay, so dapat alam natin ang mga yan. Okay, so that's Robert Koch. Okay. Now we have also another personality here. Actually, there are two. We have Fleming and Chain. Okay, but let's focus more on Alexander Fleming because this person is being used, no, in many times in the board examination. That name Alexander Fleming. But Fleming was with Chain, wherein Chain was also one of the scientists before, and these two developed penicillin, and now penicillin is one of the antibiotics we have in the medical field, and they developed it in 1929, wherein that penicillin is a type of fungus. And the scientific name of that fungus producing penicillin, which is an antibiotic, is the Penicillium notatum. Okay? And serendipity is actually a way of the discovery of penicillin. It is accidental. Okay? And Fleming is said to be the father of antibiotics. Okay? Because of this knowledge made or initiated by Fleming, now in this modern time, we are able to create different antibiotics, right? But that depends on the causative agent of the disease. If the agent is caused by bacteria, then we need to drink antibiotic. If the agent is caused by virus, we need to take antiviral drugs. That's the reason why they banned the selling of antibiotics over the counter in different pharmacies, because there were people who didn't continue drinking the prescribed antibiotic. So with that, once that these antibiotics are exposed to the bacteria or even in other microorganisms present in our body, then they become more resistant. When we say resistant, even though we expose them on in that very same antibiotic, they will not die because they adjusted to it, they survived, they adapted, so they become more resistant now. Okay, so if they are now resistant, more resistant, then we need to create higher or new kind of drug to kill those viruses or bacteria or that agent causing that disease. Okay, so we need really to follow yung mga standards, no? Procedures, especially in taking drugs, no? Kasi yun na nga. Kaya minsan dati, wala naman tayong ganitong sakit, pero dahil sa mali ang practices natin mga tao, di nagkakaroon tuloy ng mutation yung mga microorganisms, making them more resistant and more powerful. So yung mga available na drugs sa pharmacy ay hindi na epekto, hindi na tumatalab. Okay? So ganun yun. And thank you to Alexander Fleming and Chain. O, diba? Next, what are the ecological characteristics if we talk about microbiology and parasitology? So we have here different terms that you need to be familiar with. First is host. When we say host, ito yung pandilig sa halaman. Charot, iba yun. Pag sinabi nating host, it is an organism that harbors a guest organism. Sinabi natin guest organism, these are foreign organisms that must not be present, example, in our body. So I just want to take as an example yung COVID-19 disease, yung pandemic na yan. So actually, the reason why we stopped everything, okay, I believe in March 2020, we stopped almost all the transactions and other services because we are hit by this pandemic. Ano yung virus na yan? Yung COVID-19 virus. Na kung saan, COVID-19 is actually the disease. But the virus causing that disease is the SARS-CoV-2, right? Wherein SARS, parang SARS-1 siya noon, kung natandaan yung SARS na outbreak noon sa, I believe, in Baguio. So SARS-2 siya, CoV-2, coronavirus 2, is another strain of coronaviruses that we have. And then they are actually the viruses and the host is us people. Okay, so they proliferated in the respiratory system, in the lungs, okay, for them to replicate. And as they replicate, they infected our body, and many, actually millions of people died or have died because of COVID-19. So the host there is us, because we are the organisms being harbored by what? The guest organism. What is the guest organism? Ito yun. It's the parasite. So parasite is an organism that lives within, sa loob, or on a host. Pag sinabi natin on, we're talking about the surface of the host. Okay? So that's parasite. And I believe, the parasite is the COVID-19 virus and the host is us people. Ano pa yung para mas maintindihan na host, halimbawa, ng on na host or doon sa surface ng host is the lice, yung kuto. Okay, alam ko naman na karamihan sa atin siguro nung bata tayo nagkaroon ng kuto. Okay, ngayon wala naman na. Yung host doon ay tayo, yung ulo natin. Wherein, yung parasite is yung lice or louse na nakatira on the surface of our skin, particularly sa ating head, sa scalp. Ayan. And then they suck blood for them to reproduce. Kaya minsan may nakikita kayong lisa, ganun. So those are eggs of lice, okay, that must be removed kasi may infestation. Actually, I knew someone who died because of ang daming kuto. Sorry sa mga kumakain, pasensya na po. Pero, we're talking about health science, we're talking about microbiology and parasitology. So, okay, I hope okay lang kayo yan. Sa mga kumakain kung meron, patawarin niyo po ako, no? So yun, I knew someone who died because of infestation of lice in her rather, on her hair or on her head. And talagang alam mo yun, nagkaroon na talaga ng mga butas-butas, no? So, I felt sad when I learned about it na yun namatay siya dahil diyan. So, naapektuhan pati yung brain niya. Okay? So, be careful ha sa mga may kapatid dyan na younger and may mga parasites yung head, agapan na natin. Okay? Kasi meron naman po tayong mga available na drugs to treat lice or louse ng mga head natin. O ano pa, meron pa tayong tinatawag na pubic lice, di ba? Hindi lang po sa ulo natin, no? May kuto. Meron ding kuto doon sa mga intimate areas ninyo. Like, sa mga pubic hair nyo, ganun. Ayan. Next, ano naman ibig sabihin ng pathogen? Pathogen is a biological agent. Pag sinabi natin biological agent, buhay yan, that causes disease or illness to its hosts. So it might be a microbe, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, or germs, or a bacterium, or a virus, or a pathogen, or a protozoan, as long as they have life, okay? And it hurts us or it harms us, people, or even other living organisms, then they are pathogens. Kaya pag sinabi natin pathology, it is the study of diseases caused by pathogens. Ano yung pathogens ulit? Biological agent that causes disease or illness to its hosts. Ayan, diba? So I hope this is clear to all of you guys. No? Why ecological characteristics? Because we cannot complete microbiome and parasitology if we do not have the host, if we don't have the parasites and also the pathogens. So ibig sabihin, itong pathogens, example niya lang itong mga parasite na yan. Okay? So there. Now, let's talk about the ecological relationship. No? I know, or maybe you have discussed already ecology or environmental science, and your lecturer taught you of this ecological relationship. And I have here listed 5. I have listed 5 relationships. So number 1, there is competition, as expressed by double negative. Why? Because 2 organisms are fighting or competing for a limited resources. So both of them are being harmed. Okay, so that's competition. Predation, it involves killing. The one being killed or eaten is actually the prey, and the one who kills the prey is the predator. And the process or the relationship is what we call predation. Number 3 is commensalism. Plus sign / 0. What does plus sign? Sorry po. What does plus sign mean? Meaning, yung isa na organism, no harm at all. No, sorry. It benefits. That animal benefits to another organism. At yung isang organism naman ay wala lang. Example niyan is yung alam na alam natin, no? It's the orchids and the tree, or orchids on a tree. So they are both living organism, the tree and the orchids. So the orchids are hanging on the surface of the tree to absorb moist from the air, and the tree feels nothing. Okay, as if that orchids are not existing. Ayan. So that's commensalism. Okay? At ang tawag natin dun sa dalawang organism na yun ay commensals. Pero yung relationship, commensalism. Next, mutualism, from the word mutual benefit. Ayan. So both of them benefited. Ayan. Or both of them benefit. Example niyan, yung bee and the flower. Yung bee, okay, yung mga bee ay nagiging rason kung bakit may pollination. At yung flower, yun naman yung nagpo-provide ng food doon sa bee. Okay? So kapag may pollination, meaning may reproduction ng plants, particularly the flowers, okay, that carries the pollen grain and also the ovule or the egg cell para maging bagong plant ulit. So pag parehong nakinabang, mutualism. At number 5, which is very related sa ating discussion, is yung parasitism. So parasitism is one of the ecological relationships we have wherein one benefits while the other is harmed. Okay, example niyan is the parasite in the host. Yun nga, yung kuto, yun yung parasite, yung ulo ng tao, or yung ibang living organism, yun po yung kanilang host. So naka-harm yung host. Okay? So yan po ang ecological relationship natin. Now, what are the factors promoting growth and development of microorganisms? So kasi itong mga microorganisms na yan, microscopic organisms, they are living, most of them, except for virus, especially if that virus is outside a host cell, meaning it's a non-living thing, and virus is not a cell. Just take note of that. Okay, so factors promoting growth and development of microorganisms, number one is nutrients. They also need nutrient, they need food. That's why they are parasites, because they are getting their food and they are depending on others for them to survive. Nutrient. Number two is temperature. So there are temperatures that are harmful to other living organisms. Iba naman is okay lang sa kanila. Okay, so they need also temperature to depend to make the reproduction rapid or slow. Again, that's temperature. Number three is the power of hydrogen level or the pH level. Prefers neutral pH. Okay, most of the bacteria or microorganisms, they are thriving, they are growing, they are multiplying if they're exposed in a neutral pH. What's the value of neutral pH? It's 7. Okay, if you go 7 below, that's acidic. But if it's 7 and above or beyond 7 rather, that's basic. All right? And neutral, it's pH 7. Ayan. Example ng pH level or pH 7 na material, it's the distilled water. Ayan. Next, number 4, moisture. So they need water. They require water. That's why, you know, we need to dry things. Kasi pag hindi dry ang mga bagay-bagay, doon magpumultiply ang mga microbes, particularly bacteria. Pag may water, mas mabilis ang kanilang reproduction. Kasi yun yung magiging ano nila parang vehicle nila for them to grow. Kaya sa inyo guys, okay, whenever you prepare or up for yourself to a certain lakad or kung ano man, you need to dry your body. Particularly your mga nasa intimate area ninyo, kailangan i-dry ninyo ang mga yan. Kasi kapag wet yan, magkakaroon yan ng bacterial growth. Okay, kasi nga they need water. And we know that in our body, particularly on the surface of our skin, it has bacteria. So, minsan nangangamoy, lalo na kapag pinapawisan, tama? Hindi lang yung sa intimate area, maging sa labas na, halimbawa sa mga armpit natin, okay? Sa mga ano, pag may tubig, kasi nga sweat, water yon from our sweat glands, then yun, nagmumultiply sila. And as they multiply, there is also an unpleasant smell, okay? Being smelled, of course. And also number 5, oxygen requirement. So when we say oxygen requirement, it might pertain to organisms that are said to be aerobic. When we say aerobic, for them to thrive, to survive, to duplicate or replicate or grow, they need oxygen. That's aerobes. Pero kapag anaerobes, they do not really need oxygen for them to survive. Again, anong term? Pag no oxygen required, anaerobes. Pero kapag aerobes, they need oxygen. Okay? So these are the factors promoting growth and development of microorganisms. Okay? There. Next, what are the importance of microorganisms? Siyempre, ang microorganisms, may mga importansya yan at may mga applications yan in the medical field to lengthen the life of people. Di ba? So ano yan? Letter A. Ito, dapat alam nyo to ha. For vaccine production. So we use microorganisms for vaccine production. Example is the polio vaccine from virus. Kasi, even in COVID, aside from this polio vaccine or polio disease, we use the virus itself in doing vaccination or in creating vaccines. Okay, so it might be killed vaccine. Pag sinabi natin killed, patay yung virus, pero yung virus na mismo ang i-inject sa atin. Okay? Meron din yung spike niya lang ang kukunin. Okay? I-check yung composition nun, yung mga receptors, yung parang yung mga antigen doon para ma-trigger ang antibody natin mag-produce or ang ating katawan na mag-produce ng antibody. Kaya yan po yung tinutusok. Minsan naman, meron tayong tinatawag na mga attenuated, Attenuated, I will repeat, attenuated vaccines or viruses rather. Na kung saan ito mga attenuated, ito yung mga weakened or pinahinang virus na ginawang vaccine. Na kahit na ilagay sa ating katawan, magpo-produce lang naman ng ating katawan ng antibody, makakaroon tayo ng konting fever kasi our immunity is fighting those viruses introduced in our body para next time na ma-acquire natin ulit yung same bacteria or virus, ang ating katawan ay meron ng memory cell that if ever they detect it again in the near future, our body can easily create or produce mga antibodies or yes, mga antibodies to kill those foreign organisms in our body. So again, that's for vaccine production. Polio vaccine, we also have the COVID-19 vaccine. Letter B for production of food. Example, yeast. Yeast is used to make bread. So yeast is a fungus and they are using, we are using yeast in creating bread for them to rise and bacteria for yogurt. Ayan. And also for cheese. Okay, basta as long as they undergone fermentation, then yeah, we need them for the production of food. Again, bread for yeast and for yogurt, we have bacteria and also the cheese. Okay, next, soil microbes help recycle nutrients. Very good. Particularly bacteria. Okay, they are helping recycling the nutrients. And bacteria are said to be biological recyclers. Okay? So, yeah, some soil microbes, no? Because there are plants, usually ang organisms naman na nasa soil ay yung mga plants, tama ba? Kasi doon sila tutubo. Ngayon, plants need nutrients and they need nutrients, particularly mga nitrogen nutrients like the nitrates or nitrite. Kung saan yung mga plants kasi na ito, hindi nila kayang i-convert yung nitrogen gas or atmospheric nitrogen na available sa ating atmosphere to convert that into nutrients or usable form. And we're grateful because we have these microbes like the bacteria to convert those atmospheric nitrogen into usable form. Example, nitrate. So pag yung nitrate na-absorb nung plant through active transport doon sa roots, then it will grow. Okay? So, yan po, microbes for recycling nutrients. At ilan po yan. Ang microbes naman ay ginagamit din for decomposition. So, nade-decompose, from organic, magiging inorganic ulit. Tapos yung inorganic na yan, na compound na na-produce after the decomposition process of bacteria, and it can be used again by plants. So that's why there is a cycle. Okay? Next, used in the brewing of alcohol, correct? No, we have here yeast and also the production of ethyl alcohol dahil sa fermentation, and we are using microorganisms for that. Okay? And also for fungi help in the degradation of living things that have died. Correct? Okay, so we have here saprophytic. That's why they are saprophytic because fungi or fungus is said to be a living organisms that are consumers. They are heterotroph and they are saprophytic. That is their feeding, okay, feeding activity. No, saprophytes sila. They are eating on the dead living organisms. Okay? So there, that's fungi. So those are the importance of microorganisms. Hindi lang po yan. Meron din tayong tinatawag na bioremediation. So mamaya explain ko yan. So sabihin ko lang po para at least maulit-ulit. So in bioremediation, we need to use bacteria to degrade those hydrocarbons like the petroleum or oil na nag-spill sa dagat. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng kaudin yun lahat. Ano pa? So, ginagamit din natin ang mga microorganisms sa genetic engineering. No? It's example, yung E. coli, that's actually one of the bacteria present in our body, inside our body, particularly sa large intestine. Na kung saan yung E. coli ginagamit na ngayon, they are now genetically modified organism to produce hormone insulin. O, 'di ba? So, nakakatuwa lang kasi kahit na ganyan sila, kahit na maliliit sila, hindi man natin sila nakikita, eh, they have very useful, okay, or they are very useful in our life, in the industry, in the economy, and among others. Okay, so it's just a matter of us people being innovative and being curious, and through the power of research, then we can discover a lot of uses of microorganisms that we have right now. So yun lang. Okay, so those are the different importance of microorganisms. Next, let's go to the classification of microbes. We have bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and viruses. Okay, so bacteria, the study of bacteria is bacteriology. They are under kingdom Monera in taxonomy. Remember that? Kingdom Monera is one of the kingdoms we have, because apart from Monera, we have the Plantae, 'di ba? Kingdom Plantae. We have the kingdom, what do you call that? Animalia, where we belong. Okay, ano pa? We have the kingdom Fungi. We have the kingdom Protista. Okay, and the Monera. Moneran or Monera is for the bacteria. And basically, bacteria are prokaryotic cells, meaning they are unicellular, and they do not have nucleus, though they have DNA, or they have the genetic materials inside it, but they do not have that nuclear wall or envelope or nucleus. And according to history, they are said to be the first form of life on Earth, particularly the cyanobacteria. And gram-positive bacteria are the bacteria with murine in their cell wall, meaning there are murine in their peptidoglycan, because that's the cell wall of bacteria, peptidoglycan. And gram-negative, they do not have murine. Pathogens, yes, some of the bacteria are pathogen, but some of it are useful. Example ng pathogen ay Streptococcus species. We also have E. coli, that's also a pathogen. And not just only a pathogen in our body, but also it causes eutrophication. We have also probiotics. So pag pro, meaning okay yan na biotics, pro into life, that's good bacteria. Example nito is yung mga nasa Yakult, yung Lactobacillus proteus. Ano pa? Oil-eating bacteria is used for bioremediation. Yan na yung sinasabi ko kanina, bioremediation. So that's basically a bacteria. So madalas sa mga bacteria, ayan, pumapasok sa ating katawan yan. Ngayon meron ka niyan sa bunganga mo, meron ka ngayon yan. Meron ka niyan sa ulo mo, meron ka niyan sa balat mo, okay? Na, pero Sir Val, bakit? Bakit? Kahit na may bacteria tayo sa ating katawan, hindi naman tayo nagkakasakit. So meaning, meron kasi tayong tinatawag na microbiota, na kung saan talagang meron tayong mga flora at fauna sa ating katawan na dapat nandyan. Kasi kung wala sila, maaaring mamatay tayo. Example, E. coli. Actually, E. coli is very good in aiding our body in producing vitamin K in our large intestine. Same with our skin, the Staphylococcus aureus. So, dapat nasa skin ng mga yan. Okay? Yan. Even sa mga, sa vagina, dapat may bacteria dyan to, na mga ngalaga doon, kasi hindi pwedeng wala dahil, yun nga po, they are our microbiota. Okay? So, there, that's bacteria. Okay? So, there. Next, what are the common diseases caused by bacteria? Madalas, syempre, tayo mga tao ang nakaka-experience ng mga yan. So, we have the strep throat, no? Kasi it's caused by Streptococcus. Maring Streptococcus pneumoniae. Ayan. So, throat. We have also Salmonella or Salmonellosis. So, causing diarrhea. So, it's caused by Salmonella bacteria. Tuberculosis, ayan. So, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. We have also the whooping cough or pertussis. At 'pag may pertussis tayo, ang natatamaan diyan is yung upper respiratory tract. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag diyan na upper respiratory infection, yung whooping cough, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and STI. So, yung chlamydia, gonorrhea, mga bacteria yan. Itong gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhoeae, na sinasabi natin, and other sexually transmitted infection. So, this caused by bacteria. We have the UTI, urinary tract infection, yung tinatawag nating E. coli. Kaya ito actually, na-share ko na ito sa ilan sa mga lectures ko, no? Pero kapag, alimbawa sa mga babae, magwo-wipe kayo ng mga kipay nyo, yan, ang mga, sorry, kipay talaga, yung mga ano nyo, vagina nyo, o yung vulva, ayan. Okay, so okay lang na banggitin yun, no? Let's normalize it kasi yun ang dapat. So yung mga vulva nyo, yun to yung area kung nakikita nyo dyan sa labas ng mga ano nyo, kipay nyo, okay? May mga E. coli kasi dyan, malapit dyan kasi yung E. coli galing yan sa feces or sa tae. Ngayon, malapit lang naman yung butas ng mga kepyas nyo doon sa butas ng anus nyo. So, dapat pagpapahid kayo, pag umihi kayo, wag pong magmumula doon sa may area malapit sa may puwet. Dapat po paloob, no? Ipaloob nyo. Kumbaga, wag niyo ipapasok yung tissue sa loob ng kipay nyo. Ang ibig kong sabihin, mula doon sa taas ng vulva nyo, pababa, papunta sa may puwetan. Gano'n dapat yung direction. Para hindi nyo ma-invite yung E. coli na present doon sa area ng puwetan ninyo, papunta doon sa mga kipay nyo. Okay? Kasi infectious siya or nagiging pathogen ang E. coli kapag napunta siya sa ibang bahagi ng katawan. So, yun yung tinatawag din nating opportunistic, no? Na pathogen. Opportunistic pathogen. Okay? Ano pa? Tetanus, no? Clostridium tetani or tetani. Yan yung nakikita natin sa mga rusty na nails. Ako na-try ko ito when I was a kid. Natusok ako yung left leg ko or thigh rather ng pako na may rust. Tapos after 2 to 3 days, naku, talagang namamaga yung aking paa. Nilalagnat na ako and all. Then I told mom that, naman ba, charot lang. I told my mother that I was pricked by a rusty nail. So sabi niya baka natetano ka na anak, so we need to go there sa hospital and have your injection for anti-tetanus. So after a day, or a day rather after being injected or receiving, injection with anti-tetanus, hindi na siya swollen yung thigh na area. So ibig sabihin talagang may bacteria doon na for tetanus. So yun, agapan nyo ha, pag may mga natutusok-tusok kayo dyan, baka matetano kayo ha. Next, leptospirosis. So alam nyo na yan, ang vector nito ay mga rodents or mga rats at nakukuha po ito sa ihi nila. Kaya kapag may mga flood or tag-ulan, very rampant or prevalent yung ganitong sakit. Next, pneumonia. Okay, we have also botulism. So, botulism, ito yung paralysis, no? Nakukuha sa Clostridium botulinum, particularly sa mga canned goods. I will repeat, canned goods. So, pag magsha-shopping kayo together with your boyfriend or girlfriend, make sure that there's no bulging of canned goods. Kasi kung may bulging yan, meaning there's a Clostridium botulinum doon, don't eat them because it will give you botulism or paralysis. Okay? Next, Pseudomonas infection. Ayan. So, ito yung mga bacteria or common diseases caused by bacteria in our body. Okay? So, dapat alam nyo na yan ha. Okay. Next, let's go now to protists. So, protists sa kingdom protista. Ayan. So, time check, it's 8:30. Bilisan ko na po kasi masyado na pala akong ma-istorya na. Okay, so protists or protista, kingdom protista, eukaryotic cell, meaning they do have true nucleus. And we have classifications of protists. Number 1 is protozoan. They are the animal-like protists. Example, Plasmodium, amoeba, ayan, Paramecium. Okay. We have also algae, which is a type of protist wherein they are plant-like protists naman. Example, kelps, Kelps are the biggest form of algae, and that's what you eat when you eat there sa Korean food restaurant. Uh, Seaweeds, ayan, no, algae, no? May mga red algae, may brown algae, may green algae. Yun. We also have slime molds. These are the fungi-like protists. Ayan, so, ito po, sa mga pictures natin yan, makikita niyo yung mga yan. Yan yung mga protists natin. They usually live in aqueous environment. So, dapat may tubig. Okay? So, there. Next, slime molds. Ayan, just to provide lang information about slime molds. So, they are fungi-like protists, they are saprophytic, and they are unicellular. O, ayan po. Ayan. Di ba nakakadiri siya? Lalo na ito. Okay. Next. Algae. So, they are plant-like protists. They are autotrophic. When we say that's why they are plant-like, because they are autotrophic. They have the ability to photosynthesize. Aside from that, they are unicellular or multicellular. So unicellular, yun yung mga algae na regular algae. Pag multicellular, it's the kelps. Tapos most supply of oxygen came from this group of organisms and also serve as food. Okay? So, yun. So we have the phylum, Chlorophyta for green algae, Rhodophyta, red algae, Phaeophyta, brown algae, Chrysophyta, golden algae, and Pyrophyta, fire algae. Okay? And yan yung mga itsura nila. Anyway, speaking of algae, actually hindi po algae ang nagko-cause ng ng red tide. At hindi rin po red algae 'yon. Okay? Kasi iba may misconception sila about having a red tide. Actually, ang red tide is caused by dinoflagellates. Ayan. Which is a type of protist din naman ito. So, dinoflagellates. Ayan. Okay? So, they cause now red tide. Na kung saan yung red tide na yung mga dinoflagellates na yan, nagiging food yan sa mga mollusks na available. Example, yung mga tahong, may mga kabibe, no, nung nakain nila yon, nagkaroon ng biomagnification or concentration nung toxins na yan. Na kung saan for them, it's not toxic. Pero once na na-consume yan ng human beings, tayo ang naapektuhan. Toxins ang mga yan for us. Okay, so ingat-ingat tayo ha pagkakain tayo ng mga seafood, particularly yung mga with shells. Ayan, mga mollusks. Okay, so that's algae. Next, protozoans. They are animal-like protists, so they are motile. That's why they are animal, because they have the ability to locomote. They are heterotrophic, so they depend on others to feed themselves, and they are unicellular. Okay, so under phylum Sarcodina, we have Pseudopodia amoeba. Forgive me with the misspelled word here. Mastigophora, so these are with flagella. Example, Trypanosoma gabiense. We have Ciliophora with cilia. Example, Paramecium. And Sporozoa, meaning non-motile parasitic, and with spores, and they are said to be Plasmodium. Okay? So, yan po ang ating mga protozoans. Next, let's go and let's talk about viruses. So, pag sinabi natin viruses, virology, it's study of viruses. And the characteristics of viruses are the following. Number one, they are acellular, meaning they are not cell. And they are self-replicating molecule, but in order for them to replicate, they need a host. Therefore, viruses are parasites. And the first virus discovered was the tobacco mosaic virus. And example of viruses that we have now are the retrovirus, the coronavirus, adenovirus, rhinovirus, and among others. Capsid, na madalas lumalabas sa board examination, is the protein coat of virus. Okay? So, ang virus maaaring phage type, balito, may ulo, parang transformer. Okay? Or maaaring corona type, meaning may mga corona yan. Okay? So, yan po yung mga type ng viruses meron tayo. Right? Next, the types of bacteria or viruses that we have are the following. Number one, bacteriophages or bacteriophage. So, bacterio, it's not a bacteria ha, but it is a virus infecting bacteria. So, bacteriophage or phages invade only bacterial cells. So, hindi tao, hindi rin lower forms of animal, but just bacteria. And DNA virus, these are the virus that contains DNA as the genetic material. Example, viruses that cause sore throat, warts, herpes, chickenpox, and smallpox. So yan po yung mga DNA virus na meron tayo. They contain DNA, not RNA, and not either. Okay? So, isa lang dapat. It's either DNA or RNA. Next, RNA viruses. So, they contain RNA as the genetic material. Example, viruses that cause polio, common colds, hepatitis, and rabies. So, they are containing RNA, nucleic acids, as their genetic material. Okay, so sometimes we are classifying viruses depending on the type of genetic materials they have. So we have the DNA and we also have the RNA viruses. Now we have here retrovirus, wherein they contain an enzyme known as reverse transcriptase that makes DNA from RNA, meaning we are using RNA as the template to create DNA. And what's the enzyme used? It's the reverse transcriptase. And what is the process called? If you are using RNA to create DNA, that's reverse transcription. Reverse transcription pag RNA to DNA. Kasi kapag yung reverse, DNA to RNA, then we call that transcription. Okay, according to the central dogma of biology. Now, the example of HIV or the example of retrovirus is the human immunovirus that causes now AIDS if it really proliferates in our body. And as of the moment, we do not have cure for it, but we can lengthen still the life of those who have it by using mga retroviral drugs. Okay, so AIDS is actually a condition wherein it's known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome dahil may HIV ka. And AIDS caused now, sorry, AIDS is caused by human immunodeficiency virus. Sorry for the misspelled word here again. And the HIV inactivates and destroys the body's white blood cell, particularly lymphocytes or helper T cells. So meaning, instead of us having a strong body, if you are infected with HIV, then you will be weakened kasi na suppressed na yung immunity mo dahil yung mga helper T cells mo or lymphocytes mo, yung mga white blood cells mo are inactivated and destroyed by them. Okay, so with that, ngayon, ang problema sa katawan natin, pag may HIV ka at napunta yan sa isang cell mo, hindi kasi nadidetect ng ating cell yung presence nila. Because they can copy our DNA, okay, by using RNA, and imbis na makita or ma-detect ng ating katawan na ay may ganitong virus pala itong cell na ito, wala na. Okay? So, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag nating deficiency, immune deficiency. Kasi ang tinatarget mismo is yung immunity mo. So, be careful if ever you will have intercourse with your partners, or you will be using needles, or if there's a mother lactating a newborn, be careful because those are the ways HIV is being transferred. Okay? So, yan po ang ating types of viruses. I will repeat, we have the bacteriophage or bacteriophage. These are the viruses of bacteria. We have the DNA virus, RNA virus, and retrovirus. As far as I know, coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, yung COVID-19, it's an RNA virus. Okay? So there. Next, fungi. So fungi, study of fungi is mycology. Study of fungi. Kingdom fungi. Eukaryotic cells, so meaning they have true nucleus. They're saprophytic, so alam nyo na yan. Common infectious diseases caused by fungi are the following. One, athlete's foot. Oh, pag may mga athlete's foot kayo, alipong nga besh, kasi nga hindi ka nagchinelas or nakasapatos ka pero nabasa yung paa mo, tapos may fungus yang tubig na yan na inibasa sa paa mo, eh di magkakaroon ka ng athlete's foot. Fungal nail infection, yes. Candidiasis, so merong Candida albicans ang vagina nyo. Merong thrush or fungal mouth infection. So we term that thrush, yung fungal mouth infection. So these are the infections caused by fungi na nagiging disease ng tao. Ano nga ulit yan? Athlete's foot, fungal nail infection, candidiasis, thrush, or fungal mouth infection. So that's basically fungi. Okay? So now let's talk about parasites here, and I will be showing you some of the scientific names of parasites we have. And again, let's just define what parasites are. So organisms which are dependent on other organisms for survival. So maaring minsan tayo 'to, bakit we are depending our survival in our environment. So ang host natin is yung environment. So we are the parasites. Okay, but we have the ability to regenerate the lost part of our environment. So we need to just to be responsible. Okay, next eukaryotes. So they are eukaryotes. And they are unicellular for protozoa, or they can be multicellular like helminths or arthropods. Ayan. Ayan. Okay? So those are the parasites we have. We have the unicellular, the protozoa, and we also have multicellular, the helminths. Okay? Parasite po yan ha. Meaning, they really need to live in us or on us for them to survive. Okay? So, ano nga ulit ang unicellular? Protozoa. Ano yung multicellular? Helminths. Ano yung helminths? Mga worms. Parasitic worms. And also arthropods. Okay? Pag-aaralan natin yan ngayon. Now, we have also what we call classifications of parasites in other perspectives. So, we have obligate parasite. So, it's a parasite which cannot survive in any other manner. Meaning, they are really parasite. Okay, so they really need to depend on others for them to survive. Okay, example, filaria. Ano nga ulit ang example niyan? Filaria. They're obligate parasite. Now, there are also parasites kasi which is known as facultative. When we say facultative, these are organisms which may exist in a free living state and which, if opportunity presents itself, may become parasitic. So, maaring parasitic siya or maaring hindi rin at the same time. Okay, so that's facultative parasite. And an example of that is the Escherichia coli. Escherichia coli or E. coli. Facultative parasite, it's either parasitic or non-parasitic depending on the opportunity or chance. And obligate parasite, forever parasite talaga yan. Okay. Next, another classification of parasites depending according to location. We have here endoparasite and ectoparasite. So, pag sinabi nating endoparasite and ectoparasite, these are parasites which live in, which is endoparasite, and on, that's why it's ectoparasite, on the body of the hosts. Okay? Example of endoparasites that we have protozoa. Yes. Kasi yung amoeba, example, sa amoebiasis, kailangan nasa loob yan, hindi pwedeng nasa balat. And helminths, ayan. And example of ectoparasite is the arthropods. Example ng arthropods, kuto. Diba? Ayan. So, pag-aaralan natin yan. Now, okay, just to give you an illustration, okay, para mas perfect lang ang ating ano. So, classification of parasites. So, parasite has two types. We have the protozoa and helminths or helminths. And we have also arthropods. So, for protozoa, these are unicellular. Helminths, they are multicellular also. Same with arthropods, multicellular din ito. And for helminths, guys, we have nematodes or roundworms. We have also the trematodes or the fluke. We also have cestodes. And all of these, yung protozoa and helminths are endoparasite. And ang arthropods lang ang ectoparasite. Okay? Ecto, outside, endo, inside. So, let's talk about the parasitic protozoans, no? Punta tayo sa protozoa muna. So, there are protozoans that are said to be flagellated or with flagella. So, ano nga ulit yung flagellated protozoans? They are parasitic ha, meaning they are parasites. So, example nito ay ang trypanosoma. Ang trypanosoma, it is caused by Trypanosoma brucei, causing now African sleeping sickness. African sleeping sickness is the disease caused by Trypanosoma brucei. And the vector of this protozoa is the tsetse fly. Another kind of Trypanosoma is the Trypanosoma cruzi, and this kind of protozoa causes Chagas disease carried by bugs. No? So bugs ang kagagat sa'yo for you to have Chagas disease because they have Trypanosoma cruzi. We have also Leishmania, causing now Leishmaniasis, which is a human blood parasitism or human blood parasite. So nakakatakot ito kasi blood ang kanyang inaatake, yung Leishmaniasis. And they are carried by female sandflies, yung mga Leishmania species natin. Female sandflies. Okay? So all of these kind of protozoans are flagellated and all of them are parasitic. I will repeat, for African sleeping sickness, we have the Trypanosoma brucei. We have also the Trypanosoma cruzi for Chagas disease. Leishmania, so causing leishmaniasis, human blood parasite naman. Okay? So there. Next, for flagellated protozoan pa din, we have the Giardia, causing now giardiasis or traveler's diarrhea. So, Giardia lambsi is actually the complete name of Giardia. Giardia lambs. Ayan. Oh my gosh, I forgot the spelling. Anyway, I'll provide it to you. So it is giardiasis, guys. Okay, wherein it's a traveler's diarrhea. Okay? Um, for giardiasis, it is actually caused by, you know, it's lamb, wait lang. It's lamblia. Yeah. Ayan. So, Giardia lamblia causing now giardiasis, and it is causing now traveler's diarrhea. Okay, so colon ang pinupuntirya nito. Next, we have also trichomonas. We have the trichomona vaginalis or causing now trichomoniasis, which is a sexually transmitted disease. O, di ba? Nakakatakot, no? Kaya careful tayo lagi. And all of those mentioned species or protozoans are flagellated and all of them are parasites. Okay? So there. Next, we have also the amoeboid protozoan. So we are done with flagellated. Now, let's go to amoeboid protozoan. So we have the Entamoeba species, particularly Entamoeba histolytica. It causes now bloody diarrhea or severe dysentery. Sinabi nating dysentery. Yan, dysentery. Okay. Or also known as bloody diarrhea caused by Entamoeba histolytica or ito yung tinatawag nating amoebiasis, guys. Next, we have ciliated protozoan. So aside sa amoeboid, we have ciliated protozoan. Example is Balantidium coli. So coli, colon, colon. So it is causing now balantidiasis, causing now diarrhea as well. Okay? So kaya nga sabi natin kanina yung classification ng protozoan ay endoparasite. So they need to go inside us. Okay, para maging pathogen sila or that can cause now disease. All right? So there, yan yung mga parasitic protozoans natin. And also we have sporozoans. So spores ito, ito yung isa na dito ang toxoplasma causing now toxoplasmosis. We have also plasmodium causing now malaria. We have also sarcocystis or causing now sarcocystosis, wherein it is causing diarrhea as well and muscle pain. So all of that are sporozoans or with spores. Ano nga ulit? Toxoplasma for toxoplasmosis, Plasmodium for malaria, Sarcocystis for sarcocystosis, giving us now the feeling of diarrhea and muscle pain. Ayan. So, again, those are the parasitic protozoans. Okay? Now, let's go to the parasitic helminths. So, remember, helminths are worms and they must be inside our body, not outside. Therefore, they are endoparasite. We have here the trematodes or flukes of human beings. So, the host is the human being, as human. Trematode is the fluke. And fluke, okay, is actually a flatworm. Okay, so if our body is infected, particularly liver and lung, so we have this what we call fasciola hepatica, and we term that liver fluke, which is a flatworm. I will repeat, fasciola hepatica. Pag ang na-infest po ay ang ating liver or lung, then that's liver fluke, which is a flatworm under phylum Platyhelminthes. And if it's present in the blood naman, it's cystosoma species. Schistosomiasis is the disease and it is caused by flatworm. At lumabas po ito sa board exam, yung schistosomiasis. Next, for intestinal naman na fluke, it's the Fasciolopsis busci. Fasciolopsis busci is for intestinal. For blood is Schistosoma species. And for liver or lung, it's Fasciola hepatica. So, madali na lang ang liver fluke kasi hepa means liver, di ba? Ayan, o, di ba? O, perfect. Next, parasitic helminths. We have cestodes or tapeworm, which is also a type of flatworm. Pag trematoda, it's fluke. Pag cestoda, it's tapeworm. So, madalas sa tapeworm, guys, they inhabit our intestinal lumen. They are also hermaphrodite, meaning they are bisexual. They have sperm and egg cell. They have male and female reproductive organ. And ang example po ng mga tapeworm natin ay mga Taeniasis na sakit. Ito yung sakit ha. Caused by Taenia saginata or beef tapeworm. And so careful sa kinakain nating beef, guys. May tapeworm doon na hindi madalas namamatay ng dahil lang sa niluto. Okay? So, Taeniasis. Next is cysticercosis caused by Taenia solium or pork tapeworm naman. Kaya madalas guys, we need to avoid eating raw meats. Please cook them first before you eat them. I know the feeling of satisfaction and gratification whenever you eat raw meat, no, wherein they are just cooked by putting vinegar on it, but actually it's not well cooked. Kailangan maging cook talaga siya. It's undercooked kasi pag ganung lang, way. And doon tayo madalas nakakakuha ng hepatitis din. Okay? Lalo na kapag may virus yung hepatitis virus, o di pag kinain mo yan, nagkaroon ka tuloy ng hepa, A, B, C, o di ba? Perfect. Lahat na ng hepa nasa iyo. Ayan, so cystoda or tapeworm. Okay? So those are parasitic helminths. And for nematodes, guys, pag sinabi nating nematodes, they are now the roundworms. So they inhabit intestinal lumen and extraintestinal sites. sa labas ng intestine, ang extraintestinal. Okay? Example nito, alam natin yan, ascariasis, or it's caused by Ascaris species. Okay? So it's a roundworm, parang noodles, na ini-infest po nito ang human beings and also the cow and the pig. No, yung ascariasis na yan. So, syempre, kaya minsan nagtitake tayo ng deworming drugs kasi dahil sa may ascaris ka or dahil may tapeworm ka or may hookworm ka or pinworm ka. Tapos, pag nagtake ka ng ganong drugs, lalabas sa mga butas-butas mo yung mga worms. Kaya madalas 'pag matanda na hindi na tayo nagpapa-deworm kasi baka mamaya lumabas sa ilong yung mga ano, yak, 'di ba? Charot, okey. Pero totoo yun, okey. So yun, yan po yung mga parasitic helminths natin, worms ang mga yan, ha. And also, lastly, we have the parasitic arthropods. So we have hard ticks. Pag sinabi nating arthropods, phylum Arthropoda, they have jointed legs. And be careful with this, ha. Arthropods are not living inside our body, but they are just on the body, meaning on the surface. So we have the hard ticks, dog tick. Pag meron ka niyan, ayan, maaari kang magkaroon ng Lyme disease because they are the vector for you to have Lyme disease. Another is soft ticks. Tick-borne relapsing fever naman ang sakit na pwede mong makuha dyan sa soft ticks na mga yan. Okay? Next is scabies mites. You can have scabies disease. Yan. Chiggers, severe itching naman. Pag nakagat ka ng mga yan, chiggers. Severe itching. Sobrang kate. Okay, kaya magpapagpag kayo ng mga beds nyo. And please, at least after 3 days or wag lang mag-exceed ng 1 week, guys. Magpalit na kayo ng bed sheets nyo, lalo na kapag mga fur parents kayo. Okay, we're not mocking you guys, ha. We're just reminding you of the sanitation kasi baka malay natin, hindi natin nakita na yung mga pets pala natin ay nagkaroon ng, halimbawa na-expose yan sa mga lugar kung saan may mga ticks. Kasi yung kapitbahay nyo na may alagang aso din, puro mga garapata o mga ticks, mga kuto, malalagyan siya. So, pati ikaw, makakaroon ka din ng kati-kati sa katawan. Okay? Number 5 is lice. Siyempre, doon sa parasite po. Fed on head, lalo na sa blood, no? They are blood suckers. Bed bugs, ayan. They also give us severe itching. And fleas, ayan, meron tayong tinatawag na plague. Ang kilalang-kilalang plague na naging pandemic noon ay ang bubonic plague caused by Yersinia pestis. Pero ang carrier niya, guys, flea. Yersinia pestis is a bacterium causing plague, but the vector is the fleas. Okay, at anong tawag sa sakit? Bubonic plague or plague. Okay? And yes, that concludes our microbiology and parasitology. Diba? Ayan. So, I hope natuto po kayong muli sa gabing ito, mga kapatid, mga kapamilya, mga kapuso. And sana po naintindihan ninyo ang aking presentation kasi syempre talagang pinaghahandaan ko rin po ito dahil para sa inyo ito at para may bala kayo. Okay? And nakakatuwa kasi ayun. Marami tayong nai-input ngayon, no, na mga idea and concepts, alright? Para perfect kayo. Okay? So, may tanong dito. So regarding sa HIV transmission from a mother to her child, may na-discuss po yun before na kapag through cesarean yung delivery, hindi ma-transmit sa bata yung HIV or kabaliktaran po. Actually po, bata pa lang, regardless kung paano ilalabas yung bata, sa kipay ba or via CS, magiging automatic positive na yung bata sa HIV kapag yung nanay ay may HIV sa kanyang blood. Kasi definitely, sino ba magpo-provide ng blood doon sa bata? 'Di ba, yung nanay? Kaya nga may umbilical cord kayo doon at ang umbilical cord natin ay may arteries at veins. Ngayon, doon nagkakaroon ng hawaan. Okay? Kaya yung bata, automatic pag pinanganak yon ay may HIV na siya. Dahil yung blood ng nanay, which is the main fluid present, both the mother and the children or the child in her womb, may HIV na siya. Next. Okay. Ano pa ba? Nematodes, flatworms are parasites po. Yes po, but not all of them ha. Okay, so si nematoda, that's roundworm. Flatworm naman ay si platyhelminthes. Okay? So there. Ano pa ba? Sir, good evening. Yung sa mRNA po to na DNA, di ba yung reverse, ano daw? Anong tanong ni Ma? Basta remember, pag RNA to DNA, that's reverse transcription. Pero kapag DNA, gagawa ka ng RNA, from the DNA, that's transcription. Okay? At yung isa sa mga na kakayahan ng HI virus is since RNA ang meron siya, gumagawa siya ngayon ng DNA kasi meron siyang reverse transcriptase. Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na retrovirus. Okay? So from instead na DNA to RNA, nagiging RNA to DNA now. Okay? Opo, may handout po tayong ibibigay. Okay, mag-alala po. May nagdagdag ng idea dito, sabi niya, dinoflagellates with epitheca and hypotheca structures. These structures produce toxins for human consumption with mollusks as a medium. Correct. That's why if we eat them or if we consume those mollusks infected by dinoflagellates, then, we will get that toxin from dinoflagellates. Okay? All right. What else? Sir, ang dinoflagellate po ba ay algae or mollusks? Hindi po siya. May sinagutan po kasi kami na ang sagot ay mollusk. O ganito yon, meaning hindi mo kasi po ata naintindihan ang tanong nun, ma'am. Ang dinoflagellate po, mami, ito po ay isang uri ng protista na kung saan ito po yung kinakain ng mga mollusks. Okay? Na kung saan yung mga mollusk na yan, yan po yung ating kakainin. So, basically, yung lason talaga na nakukuha sa mga mollusk, hindi po talaga galing sa kanilang mollusk yun. Hindi silang nag-secrete, kundi yung mga dinoflagellates na kinain din ni mollusk. So, ibig sabihin, si mollusk, food niya, si dinoflagellate, since maliit lang dinoflagellate at filter feeders kasi ang mga mollusk natin. Tapos tayo naman kakainin natin yung mga mollusk, halimbawa na natin yung mga yung mga tahong, ganun. Tapos kinain natin, then tayo yung nagsasuffer. Pero sa mga mollusk, hindi po sila yung mamamatay doon. Tayo po. Okay? Ayan. Maaaring may mga toxic sa atin, pero sa ibang uri ng animals ay hindi. Ayan. So, yan po yun, madam. Ha? O, huwag ka na malilito para perfect ka na sa board. God bless you. O, next. Sir, tanong lang po, bakit po 99.9% na germs lang ang kayang patayin ng safeguard? Ayan. So, loko-loko ka sir or madam, kung sino ka man, no? Bakit 99.9%? Kasi mismo kahit bagay man yan, designed na yan to kill germs, it only reminds us that no one is perfect. Okay? So, ang safeguard may palya pa rin yan. Kasi yung 0.01 na yan, okay? Or 0.1 na yan, is, maaring dumami pa din. Kaya, yan, tsaka normal kasi sa ating katawan na may bacteria talaga. Ayan. Kaya, pwede ba, wag mo akong tinatanong ng ganyan, baka gusto mong ano, ayan. How about yeast infection, sir? Is that a bacteria? No po. Yeast is a fungus. And fungus, we have kingdom fungi for yeast. Kasi fungi yan. Pero ang bacteria, it's different. It's kingdom Monera. So they are separate. They are not the same. Yeast is different from bacteria. Yeast is a fungi, bacteria is a bacteria. Ano pa? Okay? Sir, may discussion po ba tayo regarding COVID-19, the vaccines produced? Ayun, nagpahapyaw na pa ako kanina sa inyo. Pero anyway, sige, total nabanggit mo yan. Di ba? Just be reminded guys na marami po tayong ginawang mga vaccines or talaga tayo ang gumawa. So yung mga iba't ibang bansa gumawa ng iba't ibang uri ng vaccines, okay? Para sa COVID-19. Tama? Iba-iba sila. Gaya ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, una, may mga kumpanya na gumamit ng virus mismo. Kumbaga, kinuha nila or nag-collect sila ng mga virus mismo na present. Halimbawa, dun sa mga namatay. Kinuha nila yung mga virus na yon, tapos pinatay nila, halimbawa. So, that's killed. Okay, killed vaccine yun. Meaning, killed virus. May virus yun. Virus talaga yun, pero pinatay. So since pinatay siya, mare-recognize ng ating katawan or ng ating mga white blood cell yung mga spikes na present doon sa virus na yan. Ngayon, pag na identify ng ating white blood cells yung spikes na meron doon, so gagawa ngayon tayo ng white blood cell to produce antibodies para patayin yan. Okay? So, kapag nakaproduce tayo ng antibodies, then mamamatay na yung virus. But if ever na kuha ulit natin or na-acquire natin yung same bacteria na buhay talaga at malakas, meron nang gagamitin ng ating katawan, particularly mga memory cells natin na gagawa ulit ng antigen at para ma-detect sila agad-agad sa ating katawan. Okay? So, maaring killed, maaring weakened, meaning to say, buhay yung bacteria, ay virus, pero mahina siya, na hindi siya nakakagawa ng malalang uri ng disease or ng sakit. Okay? Maaari din pong yung RNA ang ginamit or maaari din pong yung spike ang ginamit. Okay? So, yun. Anyway, with that, siguro we can add that next time. Yung iba pang information about sa brands ng vaccines na na-produce, like yung mga Pfizer or BioNTech, no? Meron din tayong yung sa Russia, yeah. So anyway, sige, I'll give you a short recap about that maybe tomorrow. Okay? So there. Ano pa ho? Hmm. Ayun. So with that, I think na sagot ko naman yung mga ibang katanungan ninyo dito, guys. So muli, ako po'y lubos na nagpapasalamat sa inyo dahil sinamahan niyo po ako ulit kasi pangit naman pag wala kayo dahil para sa inyo 'to, hindi naman para sa akin. So dapat nandiyan lang talaga kayo. Eh, nakakatuwa kasi ang dami pong umattend ngayong gabi. So yun nga lang, nabawasan na siya kasi tapos na. 'Di ba gano'n naman tayo, 'di ba? 'Pag tapos na, alis na agad, 'di ba? Opo, 'wag pong mag-alala. Meron po kayong ano, meron po kayong handout, ibibigay po 'yan, okey? Ayan. Sir, ang study of fungi, study of what? Phycology or mycology? It's mycology. Kasi ang phycology is study of algae. Okay, kung walang phycology, look for algology, okay, or algae. Ang myco, it's fungi. Ang phyco, it's the algae. May tanong dito. The process involved in the production of mRNA using DNA as template is termed as transcription. Tama? Bakit? Process involved in the Yes, the process involved in the production of mRNA o gagawa ka doon ng mRNA gamit ang DNA as template is termed as, anong sagot? Transcription. Ano pa? So yes, yung mga mollusks hindi po sila infected ng dinoflagellates kasi pagkain nila yon. They are filter feeders. Sir, kung lalaki ang may HIV, matransmit po ba via semen? Oo, kasi semen is a fluid na doon po concentrated din ang mga HIV virus. Kaya kayo, halimbawa, may intercourse na nangyari, tapos nasugat kasi, halimbawa, ducks yung yung ginamit ng lalaki, tapos halimbawa may mga tears or may mga napunit, no? Tapos na-expose sa blood vessel. Ngayon, yung mga HIV virus, papasok na ngayon doon sa sa exposed na blood vessels yung HIV. So, yung HIV pupunta na siya sa blood nung ka-sex nung may HIV. So, magkaka-HIV na siya. Ayan. Ayan, attenuated virus. Okay. Hello sir, ask ko lang po if kayo po ni Sir Vincent ang gagawa ng pre-board namin, if there are chances po na kukuha kayo sa drills namin. Maraming topics po kasi ang hindi na-tackle. Wag po mag-alala kasi siyempre, you also have your majorship, tama? Ito naman po ay mentorship lang naman. So, basically, yung mga ibang mga nailagay namin dito sa presentation namin ay wala po sa mentorship, sa majorship ninyo. Okay, so you are lucky enough kasi ang dami niyong resources. Unlike us, nung time namin, it's just the online. Pero kayo, may OPMS na kayo, may mentorship pa kayo, may majorship pa kayo. So, I believe, siguro kayo hindi na i-tackle yung iba kasi baka hindi na importante. Okay? So, yun po. Ngayon, if you really aim high, then why not study everything that you want to study? Okay? But for us, we have provided what's important, what's salient, and we also go beyond kung ano yung nasa TOS para at least, makuha namin, maibigay namin sa inyo, hindi man lahat ng detalye, pero yung importante sa board exam. Okay? Ano pa ho? Ayun. So I think that's all for me. Again, thank you so much for everything that you stayed with me. Thank you for the questions. I hope I addressed all of your questions. Okay? Be patient, guys. Ano pa? Maging mabuti, tandaan ninyo, hindi pa nagbo-board exam, ang masamang ugali, alam niyo nang mangyayari. Charot. Okay, magpakabait lang lagi. Magpasensya minsan. Ano po, kung may mga lapses man, pasensya na po. Ano ho, dahil tao lang naman po tayo. Okay. Alright. So with that, thank you so much. Sir, na makakapag-lecture po ba kayo ng majorship sa CBRC Tarlac? Hindi po. Kasi hindi pa ako available ng weekdays. Weekend lang po. Weekdays man pero gabi. Kasi may pasok din pa ako sa trabaho ko. Ayun lang naman po. So, yun lang. Maraming maraming salamat po. Carry on. Kayang-kaya niyo yan. And may God bless us all. Love you all. And soar higher, eagles. God bless. Bye-bye po and have a good night. Ingat. Puwede pa kayong magtanong, I'll stay here for 5 minutes pa, kung gusto niyo pa po. Pero if not, you may go and leave our virtual class soon, kasi we still have time naman. It's 9:13, oh, 'di ba? Oh, tulog na. Matulog na ho kayo. Oh my gosh, anong oras na? May tanong, possible po ba sir na may kasamang diseases at its vector po sa board? Posible po. Yes, kung ano yung vector, halimbawa dengue, ano ba ang dengue is a type of virus, causative agent ng dengue is virus, tapos ang vector po niya ay ano, it's a mosquito, particularly Aedes aegypti, yung scientific name. Aedes aegypti, vector yan ng dengue virus. Hello po sir, ask ko lang po if kukuha po kayo ng item sa Save RC Peers for pre-boards. Secret! Oh, hi Sir Marvin, kumusta ka na anak? Ayan. Alam kong maganda ka pa din, di ba? May tanong dito, sir, yung bloody diarrhea po ba same ng parvo disease sa mga hayop tulad ng iba po kasi yung parvo disease, it's actually a virus. Yung bloody diarrhea ng mga tao sa amoebiasis, it's a protozoa. Though they have the same signs and symptoms, same experiences that there are blood, there is a severe dysentery, pero iba po ang causative agent niya. Pag parvo disease, it's parvovirus. Pero pag bloody diarrhea, typically amoebiasis is amoeba. Okay. So for your answer, for your question, it's not the same. Though the same na may blood, pero hindi po parehas ng causative agent. Okay. I hope na-answer ko po. Ano pa? Ayan, doon sa may 99.9% na tanong, dagdag lang natin dahil daw may endospore. Endospore and seed. Okay, so endospore, dahil sa endospore, correct. Kaya yung mga endospore, yan yung mga ah kumbaga parang part ng life cycle ng isang living microorganism wherein they're resistant to water, they are resistant to temperature, lalo na kapag very low. Okay? Na kung saan pag na-provide yung tamang mga factors para mag, kumbaga parang mag-continue yung life cycle ng microorganism with endospore, then that endospore becomes a new microorganism na. Okay? So there. May nagtanong dito, Sir, ilan malinaw nung board exam sa major? I believe it's 10. Ang alam ko ha, ayan. Ano pa ba? Okay na po. Sige. Kung wala na po, I think nasagot ko naman na lahat. May 400 pa. Out na. Ayaw niyo mag-out? Sir, matusunod po ba ang proportions po ng questions sa TOS? Maaari. Opo. Pero maaaring hindi rin. Ayan, depende minsan kung saan ang concentration nila. Kung bio ba or, physics ba or chemistry. Just be prepared, students, no? If you want to read more, read more. Wala naman pong problema doon. Okay? Ayan. Alright? So with that, again, that's all for me. Thank you so much for tonight. May God bless us all. Sweet dreams and see you again tomorrow. Ayan, for the 30 item rationalization. Goodbye. Ingat po.